Canary. Today we'll be talking about short workplace messages and digital media. Now, preparing digital age email messages and memos. Paper-based messages are business letters or inter-office memos, whereas electronic messages include email, instant messaging, text messaging, podcast, wikis, blogs, and social networking. So let's learn about a little bit of each and when's appropriate to use them. Well, email, for all of those of you that don't like email, it's not going away. We just got to get better at it. It's the preferred channel for most business messages. It's a medium costing business people 2 hours or more each day of just responding to it. It's a replacement for paper memos inside organizations due to the ease of tracking and making sure that it's delivered correctly. And it's also a substitute for some letters to external audiences. So when is email appropriate? Well, email is appropriate when it's short, informal messages requesting information or responding to inquiries. It's effective for multiple recipients and messages that must be archived, and also as a cover document when sending larger attachments. Think of it as a cover letter. Best practices for better email? Don't write if another channel such as instant messaging, social media, or phone call might work better. Send only content that you feel comfortable being published. Write compelling subject lines, possibly with names and dates. For example, Jake, can you present at a January 10th staff meeting? That's a compelling subject line that would get me to open it. The best practices for better email when it comes to replying to emails? Scan all emails, especially those from the same person, and answer within 24 hours or say when you will. Change the subject line if the topic changes, right? If you're having an email chain, and there's 8 emails back and forth, make sure you update that subject line so you know the topic of that email. Practice down editing. Make sure to include only the parts from the incoming email to which you're responding to. Start with the main idea, and then use headings and lists to help create a concise reply. Some etiquette for better email. Obtain approvals before forwarding emails to somebody else. Resist humor and sarcasm because when written, it can be misunderstood. Soften the tone by using a friendly opening and closing, and avoid writing in all caps, which is like shouting. Although my grandma does that all the time. The best practices for better email: when you're closing, end with due dates, next steps to be taken, or a friendly remark. Add your full contact information, including social media addresses. Edit your text for readability or use a service like a spell check service. And also double check before hitting send. So when should you write a memo as opposed to a email? When the message is too long for an email, when a permanent record is required for a file, when formality is needed, and for employees that may not have email. Perfect example of a memo would be a written performance improvement letter or a performance improvement plan. Some benefits of instant messaging and texting. It's real-time communication with colleagues anywhere in the world. It's immediate sharing of information that allows for quick decisions. And IM applications instantly connect with dispersed coworkers. For example, I work for an agency. I spend half my time in Knoxville, Tennessee, and another half of my time in Cleveland, Ohio. So I'm quite on the move in between the two locations, and I use Google Hangouts to IM back and forth with my coworkers all across the country. And voice calls are substituted with quiet and discreet messaging, right? No need to call somebody if you can text somebody. Messaging avoids phone tag and eliminates the downtime associated with personal phone conversation. Presence functionality lets coworkers locate each other online, right? You can see who is available to talk and who's not available to talk. Productivity grows because users get answers quickly and can multitask without the chit chat. You'll notice in the background the beeps. That's actually my team texting and messaging me right now. Some risks of instant messaging and texting: phishing schemes, viruses, malware, and IM spam. Evidence in law It can be evidence in lawsuits and subject to discovery. All written text messaging and instant messaging. It's potentially overwhelming tracking and storing of messaging, and there's a lot of inappropriate usage such as bullying and sexting. Some best practices for instant messaging and texting: follow your organization's policies. Don't disclose sensitive information. Steer clear from harassment and discriminatory content. Forward or link to photos, videos, and art with caution. Never say anything that could damage your reputation or that of your organization. Also, don't text or IM while driving. Separate business contacts from family and friends. Avoid necessary chit chat. And if personal messaging is allowed at work, keep it to a minimal. Finally, another one that's not listed here is before you hit send, make sure you're sending it to the right person. Sometimes people send text messages to the wrong person. Make yourself unavailable when busy. Keep your presence status up to date when you're in the office and not in the office. Don't blast multiple messages if you don't hear from coworkers. Don't use confusing jargon, acronyms, or abbreviations. And care about correctness. Proofread your text. Now, business podcasts or webcasts, these are recorded audio that you can elaborate to produce and require quality hardware. It can be played on any number of devices. It extends from short clips to large digital files. And it may be recorded or you may do it live. It can be streamed on a website or downloaded. Businesses use podcasts to provide quality content and an authentic voice when considering money making. Second, it offers a friendly human face but requires no human presence. Broadcast repetitive information that does not require interaction. And it replaced costlier teleconferencing systems. Why should businesses use blogs? To reach a far-flung, vast audience fast and inexpensively. To invite spontaneous feedback and interact with consumers. To address rumors and combat misinformation. To keep customers, employees, and the public informed. To create virtual communities, build brands, and develop relationships. It's also great for SEO, search engine optimization. Crowdsourcing blogs, organizations can solicit customer ideas and other input, right, for topics. Viral marketing are online messages that spread quickly, much like viruses pass from person to person. Content must resonate with a lot of people who will share it for it to go viral. Some tips for creating a professional blog: identify your audience, pick the right words and topics, choose a good hosting site, work the blog role, monitor your traffic, craft specific messages, and blog often. Some risks associated with social media networks for businesses: productivity loss. The average American spends 3 to 5 hours on social media a day. Leaking trade secrets, attracting the wrath of huge internet audiences, it can backfire on you. And then facing embarrassment over inappropriate employee posts. Some guidelines to social networking safely: establish boundaries, distrust your privacy settings because nothing truly is private, rein in your friends, beware of friending, expect the unexpected. When using electronic media professionally, learn your company's media policies, separate your work and personal data, and avoid sending personal email, IM messages, or text from work. Be careful when blogging, tweeting, or posting on social networking sites. Keep sensitive information private and don't share it. And stay away from sexually explicit jokes or inappropriate screensavers. Don't download and spread cartoons, video clips, photos, and art. Don't spread rumors, gossip, or defamatory comments. Don't download free software and utility to company machines. And don't open attachments sent by email unless you know the sender. Also, don't watch streaming videos. Don't share files and avoid file sharing services. And don't store your personal music and photos on a company machine. That's it for this chapter. Make sure that you complete the assignment for Chapter 7.